Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Way of Life. I'm your host, Gus Holland. I just got back from the Ronnie Coleman Classic strongman events, and I just wanted to do a quick little recap on that. First of all, that was my first ever, for many things, that was my first time to witness a bodybuilding competition, at least the pre-judging, in person. I've seen lots of video and, talked to people about it, but I actually got to witness it firsthand in between my events. They also had a powerlifting competition going on as well, but the crowds, it was all the way across the building, and the crowds were pretty thick, so I didn't get to see much of that. But I did get to participate in my first strongman event as well. I was in the novice class, so that means that there is no weight limit, for yourself. Like, they do weigh you in, and that is in case there's a tie for some reason on an event within the novice class, they go off of your weight. And in that case, the lowest weight would win. Lowest body weight. There was 4 events, and I failed out of 2 of them, unfortunately. But one of them I was expecting not to do so well on. The other I was pretty confident about, but I still had never trained with that implement before, so I'm not super bummed out about it, besides just being momentarily embarrassed. But it was definitely a learning experience. It was it was super fun. It was like some of the most fun I've had in a long time. I got to meet a lot of really interesting, cool, friendly people, and made some I'd say potential friends. But let's see. The first event was a behind the neck overhead press off of blocks. They did give us the option to press it off your chest. I have had some shoulder issues before in the past, mainly associated with football injuries. So I was kind of going back and forth in my head on whether I should do it behind the neck or off the off the chest. And last minute I ended up choosing to do it behind the neck, since 1, that's what most people are doing. 2, I was kind of practicing my technique beforehand, and I kind of started feeling more confident about it. I know I have the strength is there. I don't usually train overhead press, so just because of fear of shoulder issues, but I just panicked when I got up there, honestly. So that was the first event. They had the women's categories go first, or weight classes go first. And then right after that was the novice. And I don't remember, 4th or 5th to go in the novice class. But the whole time I was just psyching myself out in my head. When I got up there, it was a larger crowd of spectators than I expected as well. And it was primarily stage fright, and just getting in my head also about, first event, first, a lot of firsts. And, so what ended up happening, even though I had determined to press it from behind the neck, the judge said, okay, once you step on that platform, your time begins. And I understood that. I was like, okay. But then I started panicking in my head because I forgot what the time limitations were. So first, like I was thinking that I had to like hurry, got underneath it, bad form, and basically tried to strict press it off my chest 2 times in a row, and just out of like panic and embarrassment, just told him like, I was like, I'm good. That's it. Which is disappointing, and I'm not a quitter, but I was just like legitimately panicking, and unfortunately, that's what that led to. So that was extremely embarrassing. That was some of the most embarrassment that I've had in a while, in years. But I stuck around. I watched, tried to support who I could when I could. And then took that opportunity basically because I failed out immediately. I wasn't, because the weight would jump up. I do not remember if I jumped in at 200 or 220. But regardless, I failed out. Didn't get on the scoreboard, but I did take that opportunity to go kind of mess around a little bit with the implement for this second event, which was the frame deadlift, which was a like really awesome custom built deadlift apparatus. Basically, it's the only thing that can that's similar that I can think of is a hex bar, the one that is in a hexagon shape that you can stand in the center and use to deadlift. So instead of deadlifting in front of your shins, basically, with your arms in front of your shins or close to it, they're to your side, similar to a farmer's carry or a suitcase, like if you were to hold a suitcase. The handles are quite a bit thicker than a normal, any type of bar that you would really use in a gym. So that does make gripping more difficult, I guess, if you're used to using just a regular bar. And it was completely made out of cedar wood, I believe. There is a picture of it on my Instagram, and my Instagram's linked in the description below. But it ended up weighing, I believe he said 475 pounds. And so that was the second event, and we had each contestant had 60 seconds to do as many reps as you could within that time limit, and while being judged, you had to wait for a down command for the rep to count. I got 20 reps in 60 seconds. And I'm pretty proud of that, honestly. And then the third event was the yoke, which is basically, if you're unfamiliar with that, is very similar to like if you imagine a squat, a very basic like squat rack setup. But just imagine that the bar is welded in place. So, or it's not actually welded in place. It's adjustable, but it's locked in place at the height that you set it at. And basically they loaded that to 550 pounds, and they give you the go command, and you're supposed to bring that, lift it, and then bring it 25 feet straight ahead. You set it down. You have 5 seconds to reposition going the opposite way. And and you have to pick it up before that 5 seconds is up. Then you head back the way that you came. And you do that as many times as you can. And the only way you fail out, or you not fail out, but the only way your attempt is completed is either by you dropping it, or not repositioning and lifting the weight within the 5 second turnaround time period. So yeah, for me, that's the second event that I failed out on. I stood up, like, and it sucks because I actually felt confident with that, especially with that weight. Like I felt like I had that. But I'd never even touched a yoke before. And basically I got the go command, or the start command, and I pressed it up, but I was only about 80 to 90% situated before I took the first step. And so therefore I wasn't stabilized enough, and it basically started swinging, and I was like, oh shit, and so I tried to stabilize it as much as I could. I was about to drop it, so I took another step that made the swinging worse. And so, yeah, I ended up dropping it, and getting a 0 count for that as well. The final event was a 200-pound sandbag, carry, load, and drag, or pull. I can't remember exactly the terminology that they used, but basically, they give you the go command. You pick up a 200-pound sandbag off of the ground, run it roughly 50 feet down to a metal sled that has a chain and handle attached to it, and then you drop it, you load it into the sled, grab the handle, run back to the starting position, and then that's for time. I did that in about 20 seconds. That was decent enough for me. I'm going to get some shoes for next time with better traction. And then also, right when the sandbag was standing up, and right when I did it, I knew that I fucked up, but it was too late. I picked it straight up instead of flipping it on its side and carrying it long ways. So that just made it slightly more difficult to pick up and carry. But I did it, and I was decently happy with the time. That was it. Those are the 4 events. I placed last in the novice class. So, like I said, those couple events, that it was unfortunate how they turned out, but I learned a lot. And I actually got in touch with turned out that some of the guys at the event were actually from my area, and they invited me to their gym. And yeah, I'm going to start training with some more strongman oriented implements. And that's really about it. I weighed in at 229 pounds. And yeah, I plan on doing a cut. I'm not sure how big of a cut, but maybe down to 210 or 215, probably, while retaining as much muscle as possible. If I cut below that, then I'm going to build back up, muscle wise, to, 210, 215. And yeah, that's really about it. Ronnie Coleman was there, but I did not get to speak with him or see him or anything. that was really the only thing that I like look back on and I was like, damn, like I wish I could have got to talk to Ronnie Coleman, but there's always next year. I'm going to compete next year in the same event. They won't necessarily have the exact same four, I guess event, 4 tasks or whatever. But regardless, I'll be more prepared and, I'm looking forward to it. I am open to doing more strongman events before that. I'm just not quite sure. Basically, I'm going to keep an eye out for stuff in my area and everything. Yeah, I don't know. I'm super pumped. Like I said, I met a lot of cool people. Got to hear a little bit about their stories and their goals and aspirations and stuff like that. Really, I'm just pumped about it. Really, but I appreciate y'all listening to this. If y'all want to follow me, my Instagram, just follow the podcast Instagram. It's at Way of Life Podcast. It's WHEY, like the protein. All of the links will be in the description below for my personal and the podcast Instagram. If you have been enjoying this podcast, share it with a friend, rate it, review it, whatever, any of that helps. If you can do all of it, that's amazing. Other than that, this guy kept cracking me up, and let's see, his name was Cruz, and I hope he's okay with me using his name and all that. But yeah, okay, Strongman Cruz on Instagram. But he I believe it was on the frame deadlift. Yeah, it was the frame deadlift, because it's timed. You're rushing, you're trying to get as many reps as you can. And he finished, and he got his breath. And I mean, and it's heavy, and I think he's a heavyweight. And so I forgot what weight they had loaded that frame deadlift to, but they had added weight. Like when I did it, it was 475. I think he did it. It was like, I want to say high 500s or in the 600s. I'm not quite sure, but, he did a lot of reps, and then he finished. He got a little bit of his breath, and he said, real loud, he's like, "Oh man," he's like, "Whoa, that's way too much cardio," and which is funny because it's deadlifting, But I don't know. I enjoyed it. I had a good time. People were awesome, very supportive, and like I said, I'm going to do it again. Thanks for the support, and there will be another episode next Wednesday. I do have a couple interviews set up, so be on the lookout for those. All right. Love y'all. Bye.